Hi, my name is Firas and today I'm going to show you the third step. In this tutorial, this specific tutorial for today is to complete the landscape for our villa that we modeled the previous two lectures or tutorials. So I'm gonna go to AutoCAD, and it's a good idea to turn off any layers that actually might conflict with your work, or sometimes you need to delete some extra elements that you don't need anymore. Like this double lines that I made for the wall and the extra rectangle for the small bits of slab here. I will turn off the hidden layer as it might conflict with the walkway. As you can see, this kind of crazy walkway shape. This profile is located on a -0.2. I usually give an extrude of also -0.2 to all my horizontal surfaces except this one, because if you know, or if you have a look at the provided difference for the level of the garden, you might see here it's a -0.5, so that will make the extrude here -0.3 instead. Anyway, try to get rid of anything, as I say, that might overlap with this, even the reference itself, the level itself. I will go here and try to see every part of this walkway before I go to the boundary column. It's easier to use boundary actually than the use of poly edit. But in the boundary, when you go here and then you pick points, it's a good idea to see everything, all the shape within the viewport of the size of the window that I have. Don't try to make things like that where some parts of the shapes is not actually included. It's probably gonna end up an error message or a failure. So I'm gonna click here, and that's it. And I see that AutoCAD actually generated the polyline quickly rather than goes step by step. It's gonna be like really boring steps. Anyway, right block, and then I'm gonna send this the same way that we've done before. And you also need to select this line, so it's going to be a walkway, exact walkway here. So I will select this and select move and right click on it. I will place it as AutoCAD document says, so -0.2, and the extrude is -0.3, and the final thing, material. I'll just drop this material for the time being. And you can see that's exactly located in the right place. If you want to just check it here also, you can have a look. That's my model, that's the wall, and they are placed exactly in the correct spots. Now the same thing for boundary, and I'm gonna model or make polyline for this, and this garden. I'll leave that one as it's part of the street. Right click again. This time I'll select this one, extra. It's a good idea to select away from the double lined area like here, as the walkway will be part of that, and the garden, so I'll just select this one instead. And this one is actually on -0.5, and the extrude is as usual minus 0.2. Place any material for that, and that's actually here, as you can see. And I do believe that I forgot this one here for some reason. Yep, this one. I'll just send it in. Now here is another part of the walkway. I'll just send it while I'm here. It's made in a different level, or as long as you see a line here in a different material, but for the time being I'll just send it in, that's it. So for now I'll just give it the same height for the walkway. So I'll just give it a different color. Now it's the building is as all is completed, and the landscape, except this part of the street, so I'm gonna leave it to the end. Now here, if I just model this line and send it as the external neighbor line with the same size as it is, and I just import it into max, and I'll just give it an extrude of any value or any height, I don't care. If you notice that any type of shots you're gonna have, whether it's an eye level or it's a higher level like this, it's all gonna see as an ugly, as you can see that the end of the word here, that's like no more land. So it's a good idea to make this rectangle actually big. So I'm gonna do it in AutoCAD just to stretch that with any value you want, and the same thing here. And eventually I'm gonna also stretch this here down, and then write a block, the same process actually. And that will be the land. So it's when you have a shots like this, that's all that going to be covered. And that's actually what we want. Now let's see, it's actually, we need to know what levels are the land around me. So I'm going to open the layer, and from the layer I'm going to turn on the levels, and I'm going to see that the points of the nearby lands or neighbor lands, it's minus 0.7 near the street, while it's a -1 and here -2. In order to do that, it's a very easy trick. I'm gonna select this and then open in the vertex and select this point, and then with the control key select this one and give it a -0.7. So now we will take it actually, for some reason it's not doing anything. Alright, so -1, let's say. I think I need to change. I think it's actually making down. Yep. The reason it isn't, as you can see before, accepting the value of -0.7 is the keyboard. I'm actually having another language beside English, so when I pressed the point, it was giving me a non-English letter. It's a good thing to understand why this type of issues happen. Now when I return the keyboard to English, it's working perfectly. Anyway, this point on the other side is -1. This point might be the one who actually caused the problem, -2. So you see that there is a big gap in here, as you see, between our land and the neighbor land. Anyway, so before I get out, I'll choose this also, and I make it -0.7 just to follow the same thing in here, to follow the same slope actually. And then I turn off this, and I can simply give it an extrude of a -0.2 and then give it an material. Now you notice that it's actually sloping the exact way as we want it. Let me turn off the grid. See? But again, we need to make a wall that actually, the fence actually, that actually able to not show any gaps. So the lower point of our external wall or fence should be starting from the lowest point, while the highest point is actually giving to us here, which is 1.2. So we have to take the Z value of the lowest point of the wall minus 0.2 and the highest to go to 1.2. That means the exit root is 3.2 and the Z value is -2. Anyway, kind of lazy to draw that as a polyline, so I'm just gonna draw a rectangle starting from this point to the edge, to the other edge, to the other end, and then another rectangle here, as you can see, and then right block, send those two lines, and then I'm gonna import that to max, and you're gonna see the view go out immediately. Shift and Z to undo the view, select the profile, and notes that I may need to couple of times click, and the trick that I have, the line that I select, it shouldn't have any kind of exit road above, so that's the right one, because all the previous clicks that I had was actually having an exit road above, except this one, and that's a good indication that this is the one, the new one that I just imported from CAD. I'll give it a -2 to the lowest point, and then give it an exit road, a positive one of 3 meter 0.2 to reach the height of a 1.2, which is this point that's required from me in AutoCAD. See, that's the best thing to deal with this type of geometry. So wherever you slope, whatever you see, it's actually, you're not going to see any gap. Don't worry about that, it's all going to be concealed under the curve, and while you are working, you're not going to see anything from it. Now it's as good as far as we go here. So I'm gonna go here and try to model the curve, the same technique, except that I'm gonna draw one line here, up, and another line here, and I'm gonna select that line and then extrude all those to it, and the same thing here, select this one and make all those line goes to it. I kept actually this line, so I can later on just pick points here if I want to make the level of the street change. So if that is not the curve, actually is not minus 0.2, maybe you put something else in here. You can control that by adding extra point here in vertex, and then inside 3D Studio Max change the height of those vertex here to make the street actually slope with the slope of this curve. Anyway, in case if you want to do that, in case if you don't, to ensure that all the curves and the street is not sloping beside the building, or it's not that really important, but you don't have any camera shot that actually show it. So just make sure that you don't leave those lines and use the boundary once, and that's it. Anyway, so I'm gonna turn off that layer. So the curve is minus 0.2, while the street is minus, if I undo, minus 0.6. Good. So I'll just have a boundary again. It's a BO. Carefully placing a point here and another point here and here, and while I'm in the command itself, I'll make the street like so on this small bits, those two bits. I'm just gonna leave them to the end. So let me, for now, let me use the right block and just send the curve. It's a minus 0.2, and the extrude here, I'm gonna give it minus 0.4, because you know, remember that the street itself is minus 0.6. Now the street, here it is, and I'm gonna place it as a minus 0.6, and I'm gonna paste minus 2 or minus 3, whatever you want, to it as an extrude. See, now it's been correctly made, as you can see. Now we need to get rid of this. We need to open for this piece of the wall. We're gonna get rid of it, so I'm gonna draw a rectangle here. So I'm gonna place it like a -1, and then I'm gonna give it an extrude and any other positive height. It's a good idea to add any type of material, specifically the same material that you're gonna do for this wall, before you make any boolean or pro-boolean. Otherwise you're gonna end up with the edges that have actually a black or any different other material. So now I cut it off, as you can see. Now I will model this part of the street or paved area within the house. So I'm gonna get rid of that boundary. Also I'm gonna get rid of this line, the green one, and line 2. So actually my curve also was incorrect. It should be repeated to the outer line here, exactly, to reach the outer line. So it's better to delete the fence line first and then send that with right block to max. Now the level of that is minus 0.4, and that's what actually provided for us in AutoCAD. So just click on the level there, and you're gonna see that it's minus 0.4, and that's a ramp that takes you from that level to that level anyway. So let's model this part of the street that get into the house, the entry. So that is minus 0.4, and anything here will be okay. So I'm going to give it a material. Now we need a ramp that takes us from minus 0.4 to minus 0.6. That drive through area here to the street. So this again boundary, and then I'm gonna send that ramp here. In max, import it, and then decide whether you're gonna put it on minus 0.4 or minus 0.6. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm gonna make it minus 0.4, so it will be with this level of the house, not with the street. Open this, select this point, and select this point again with control, and I'll give it a minus 0.2, so it's gonna be leveled with the same 0.6 of a street. Turn it off and give it an extrude, and then give the material. And you're going to notice that now it's actually flush, the relationship between the street and the house, and there is no edges or nothing between them. It's a perfectly way to do a quick ramp here. And as you can see, there's no gaps. There's one place that you can fall and hurt yourself actually, which is this here between the curve and the minus 0.7, so it's minus 0.5 actually between them. You're either going to fix that or add a fence, I don't know, but technically most of our shots will not show that. And if you want, just model a wall here, and that will end the issue for you. The same thing here, you might need to model another rectangle here on the other side, so probably all we need is to go ahead and do that, like a very quick way of drawing any other option here, any object here, sorry. So right block, and the same thing in max. Just give it anything lower than the curve, which is here, it's 0.2, let's make this minus 0.4 maybe, and then we give it an extrude and give the material, and that's it. And by this big landscape, it's gonna guarantee for us if I have shots that actually show the upper part or top view or any kind of falcon eye view, not gonna see the end of the word or any edges. It's kind of ugly thing to be done actually, and the only one missing part of the model is this. I will leave that for you to model it. Just add a wall, two rectangle, one here and one here, and place it lower on the same height of our building fence. Actually, I don't care, it's another job for you. It's easy and it's not going to be shown anyway. And then we have to get inside. Maybe we have to design the pool area here. I will leave that for another tutorial. Anyway, that finish a simple way of modeling landscape for our building, starting from garden and the walkway and then street, ramp. Everything actually has been covered here. I wish that you get some new information and benefit from that tutorial, and thank you and have a good day.